The MVP of the NFL right now is Drake Maye.
Drake Maye? The MVP? You've been watching my videos, Dan? What do the other ESPN employees have to say?
You are a liar. He's the best deep ball thrower in the NFL.
The numbers bear it out.
Hold on. You keep allowing people to come on this show and to have diarrhea at the mouth.
The only thing worse than Cam Newton's takes was his play on the field as a Patriot. Drake Maye is so good, Caleb Williams is getting asked about him in his press conferences.
Have you noticed at all what Drake Maye's been doing in New England these weeks?
Yeah, he
stands out.
Yeah, he's been playing well.
And that was the week the Bears played the Bengals, by the way. 10 years ago, Bill Belichick was on to Cincinnati.
Do you think having a 37-year-old...
We're on to Cincinnati.
Do you feel like the talent you have here is good?
We're getting ready for Cincinnati.
12 years ago, Matthew McConaughey said some of the most iconic words in the history of the 21st century.
Those are rookie numbers in this racket. I myself, I jerk off at least twice a day.
Sorry, wrong clip. Here's the one I was looking for.
Someone once told me time is a flat circle. Everything we've ever done or will do, we're gonna do over and over and over again.
In practice, I'm more like the first McConaughey clip. Anyway, time is a flat circle, especially in Foxborough, Massachusetts. A quarter century ago, the New England Patriots were building a dynasty with a defensive-minded head coach, a young quarterback who played with immense confidence early in his career and a stifling defense. Of course, that run only lasted 2 decades and brought them a disappointing 6 Super Bowl trophies. After Tom Brady departed New England for Tampa Bay, the Patriots wandered the quarterback desert for all of 4 years, cycling through Cameron Newton, Jarrett Stidham, McCorkle Jones, and Abelia Zappi, until finally they found their long-awaited savior.
Dressed as Charizard, from the New England Patriots, quarterback Drake Maye!
You see that? I love this guy. Taking time to bring a smile to a child's face, that's priceless. And a lot less disturbing than what Bill Belichick brings to a child's face. That's how you roast a Patriot, Tom Brady.
You know, right now, Drake Maye's playing with the greatest tight end in the history of the New England Patriots, Hunter Henry. Wow. I mean, this guy's like electric.
Drake Maye is great, but not even Drake can make Tom funny. Today, we are going balls deep into the New England Patriots and their hot young quarterback, Drake Maye. And while this organization has no business sniffing a decade of success at this point in football time, I realized I don't hate the Patriots. I simply hated Tom and Bill.
Fuck you, Tom Brady.
Fuck Tom. So go ahead and subscribe, Patriots fans. Come on, it's a safe place for you now. Holy crap, almost 1,000 of you have followed me on Prize Picks in the last 24 hours. What happened? I followed so many of you back that Prize Picks gave me a prompt to make sure I wasn't a bot. Now we're officially into November and we're tracking to hit my goal of 6,000 signups with code TGS by the Super Bowl. If that happens, I will dine in hell for your entertainment, okay? What's hell? It's the Mahomes and Kelsey restaurant in Kansas City. Just use my code TGS when you sign up after downloading the app with the link below. New users who deposit $5 get $50 in lineups instantly. And you can play in their free-to-play jackpot every week for a chance to win $1 million. Now, if you follow me on Prize Picks, you can see my lineups and copy and play them if you desire. This week, I copied Tub Luna's NFL lineup. Don't let me down, Tub. And shout out to new followers, The Pick Chick. Glad to know at least one woman's watching. Pootie Tang for you film buffs. Elway's ACL, and he only had one of them. Perna going to KC, and That's Good Warts. Oh, disgusting. Again, sign up. Code TGS, but only play if you like playing in these games, you know you can do it responsibly, and have the means and money to do so. If you don't have any of those things, that's fine. Just like the video, subscribe here. That's all you ever need to do. Sports. Drake Maye is 23 and just a few months old. Young enough to be Belichick's girlfriend.
Not talking about this.
No?
No.
It's nothing about the past, nothing about the future. Right now we're preparing for Cincinnati.
He wasn't alive when the Patriots upset the Rams in Super Bowl 36 to capture their first Lombardi in franchise history. Tom Brady was 24 when he took the reins from Drew Bledsoe. And despite his youth, despite being the third quarterback off the board in the vaunted QB draft of 2024, Maye is already doing things we never saw from Brady.
I might have made a decent career myself if I could do some of the things that kid can do.
Even his legendary record-breaking 2007 season. That is a sentence I don't even believe the most optimistic Patriots fans would have believed a year ago. I'm not ready to call Drake Maye a young Josh Allen, but defensive coordinators like Jeff Ulbrich are.
Being in the AFC East for 4 years, got very familiar with Drake, especially the last couple. He's way better than I wanted him to be. He feels like a mini Josh Allen, like a younger Josh Allen in a lot of ways. His mobility, his arm strength, the way he can take a game over with both facets of the game. He's a problem.
Please let that be a prank statement, Jeff, please. Drake Maye has played a sizable chunk of football for the Patriots in 2025. In 5 of those games this year, he's thrown for at least 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, and posted a passer rating of 135 or higher. Tom Brady only did that 4 times in 2007 for the 16-0 Patriots. Keep in mind, there are no Randy Mosses or Wes Welkers on this 2025 team. Maye's top target is 32-year-old Stephon Diggs. His deep ball threat is Kayshon Boutte, who's literally ass.
Boutte wide open! He was looking for Boutte. He grabbed Boutte.
And the Pats' leading rusher at running back only has 29 more yards on the ground than Maye himself. Maye is also one of 5 quarterbacks in NFL history to throw 200 yards and post a passer rating of 100 plus in 7 consecutive starts. The other 5, Brady, Peyton Manning, Patrick Mahomes, and Aaron Rodgers. And I know none of those guys were doing that shit at the age of 23. Well, actually, Mahomes was, but I think we can all appreciate the difference in the offenses that these two guys were working with, respectively. What's really intriguing to me about these passing yards metrics and high completion rates is they're coming in a season where passing yards are tanking. Partially an unintended consequence of the new kickoff rule, and partially to how defenses take away big pass plays, but there have been just 30 300-yard passers through 8 weeks in 2025. That's the fewest since 2003. Drake has yet to eclipse that 300-yard mark this season, and it doesn't matter because when you watch him play, he is forcing you to notice. Maye isn't just outpacing Tom Brady, he's in the midst of posting one of the most aggressive and deadly downfield passing seasons we've seen this century. Take a look at this graph.
Look at this graph!
Oh, I love a graph. There's a lot of graphs out there that tell you how well Maye is playing right now. They make it easy. I mean, you can also watch the games. But this graph, oh God, this graph in particular gives some context to as what historical outlier this season has been so far. Denver Nuggets fans call this the Jokic quadrant. In year 2, Drake Maye is officially in the Joker quadrant. When I first saw this chart, I assumed it was for quarterbacks this season. Shout out Sam Darnold. But no, it's all the great deep ballers, the shot callers with their 40-yard fades. Maye is chucking the ball downfield with incredible accuracy, the likes of which we haven't seen since 1999. You can actually see Brady's 07 season in the bottom left quadrant and Maye's 2025 separated by a 17% success rate jump and an increase of 0.4 expected points added. You don't need to know what those metrics mean to know that Maye is slinging the ball deep with surgical precision. Robert Kraft may not have made the correct hiring when he cut ties with Bill Belichick, but knowing this is what Bill thought of Drake Maye coming out of the draft, he moved on from Bill at the exact correct moment.
Kind of, I'd say, too quick to scramble and get out of the pocket. Of all the quarterbacks, he was the lowest rated in the pocket thrower. Of all the quarterbacks, he was the lowest rated. Of all the quarterbacks, he was the lowest rated. Of all the quarterbacks, he was the lowest rated.
But back to that graph, which accounts for throws of 10 or more yards down the field. When you boost that number to 20 yards, Maye, compared to other quarterbacks this season, is first in QB rating, first in completion rate, first in EPA, and first in touchdown percentage. Boringly great. According to this graph, his completion percentage over expected downfield is truly elite. And once again, I'd just like to point out that he's not throwing jump balls to Randy Moss like this. He's threading the needle 45 yards downfield to booty. Maye found booty, and Maye likey booty. Now let me see that booty work, booty work, booty work. Here's what I appreciate about Drake, okay? Sometimes we view NFL quarterbacks as demigods who can process a defense like fucking Russell Crowe with an equation in a beautiful mind. Drake is keeping it simple with booty.
Keep throwing to a guy and he keeps making plays. I mean, it's as simple as that. I mean, it's not really, any more difficult than that. Now let me see that
booty work. If Drake is a genius, he's secretly one, like Will Hunting. Patrick Mahomes, of course, if he's a genius, is Oppenheimer, and he's gonna destroy us all. Maye's situation with the supporting cast is actually a lot more similar to the original Patriots dynasty from the early 2000s when they were winning without a Moss or a Gronk or a serial killer at tight end. The Diggs, Booty, Hunter, Henry combo is a lot more similar to Troy Brown, David Patton, and Christian Foria. What is a Christian experience when they arrive in heaven? Christian Foria. So, it's like if Brady was putting up his 07 numbers with his 01 team, but also a year younger.
Sorry about that.
There actually is a common thread between the 07 Patriots and the 2025 Pats. That's fairly obvious, but no one has really talked about it much. And probably for a reason, but it's Josh McDaniels. McDaniels spent a year away from the NFL after his unceremonious exit from Las Vegas, and for the third time in his career, rejoined the Patriots, where once again he is proving that you can be an outstanding offensive coordinator and a terrible dog shit, poor, fucking bad, just unbelievably incompetent, stupid, moronic, dumb fuckity fuck head coach many times. I mean, like the smell and look of cat shit and piss bad at your job. I mean, Josh McDaniels was the epitome of incompetence and not knowing what the hell he was doing as a head coach. You can be just putrid, fucking so bad, like nobody even respects you. Your whole team is turning against you. They're roasting you in specific meetings bad. That's how fucking bad and stupid Josh was. Over the span of one's entire career, and then returned to be a good OC. Another real parallel here is the Patriots are quietly playing stifling defense. They're currently 4th in points allowed. They're second best in rushing yards per attempt allowed, and they haven't allowed a 50-yard rusher at the running back position in the first half of the season. If you watch Power Rankings, you already know that. But that's unheard of. That literally has not happened since 1950. You have to hand that credit to Mike Vrabel, who of course was a member of that original dynasty and, like Belichick, is thriving as a second-time head coach in the NFL.
Would you cut your dick off for a Super Bowl?
Oh, been married 20 years. Yeah, probably.
You've got 3.
Unlike Belichick, he is married to a woman that was old enough to remember the first 3 Super Bowls for the Patriots.
Not talking about this.
No.
I can't decide what's more of a feather in Vrabel's cap. Is it the way the Patriots are playing with him, or is it the way the Titans have played without him? Vrabel should be retroactively given additional wins on his career record from his last 2 years in Tennessee. You can call that Titanflation.
How many touchdowns you guys scored last year? The answer is not enough. That's it. There's one answer.
Don't forget, we did launch a new coffee, Good Shits, at benchwarmershop.com. The sale for my birthday bundle ends on midnight, November 2nd. So make sure if you want the discount, you order now. It's called Good Shits because coffee helps you poop.
Not enough. That's it. There's one answer.
I would have loved, though, if Vrabel signed Tyler Lockett after the Titans released him and then let Dre cook with Lockett on the field as one final fuck you to Tennessee. Regardless, Vrabes is very much in the Coach of the Year conversation, and Drake Maye is a big reason as to why. Now, football fans talk about tanking a lot, right? It's not something that actually is practiced by NFL teams because too many people's jobs are on the line. What we know is that when you need a franchise quarterback, you better be in a position to draft one. Or you better be in a position to sign a guy who was drafted very high, who some other lesser organization tried to ruin. Daniel Jones, Sam Darnold. Above everything, you need some dumb fucking luck as well. But I want to talk more about Maye and specifically how we ended up here with New England falling ass first into another franchise QB.
Booty wide open!
And I say that with all due respect to how bad they were in 2023, because if Chad Ryland nails this 35-yard kick, we might be talking about Drake Maye, savior of the New York Giants. Or maybe the Titans in a weird twist of fate, right? Maye, of course, was not the top pick in the 2024 NFL Draft. He was not 1 and he was not 2. Those spots were reserved for Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels. I also don't want to come off like Maye has officially leapfrogged Jaden Daniels as the best quarterback of that draft, because we all know it's Bo Nix, after what we saw in Washington a year ago, although you'd be silly not to acknowledge the way it's trending. I think Maye fell to 3rd for a number of reasons. Well, 3 to be exact. First, we thought too much of Caleb Williams, and that's not to say he can't have a good career, but it's become pretty apparent Caleb Williams is not the guy most people thought he would be coming out of USC. Second, the Mitch Trubisky factor.
You like going number 2?
Some say it's a necessity.
Whether it's fair or not, it definitely wasn't. Human beings are visual creatures, right? And the second Drake Maye trotted out there wearing number 10 in Carolina blue, he was going to draw comparisons to the 2nd overall pick back in 2017. It's stupid, I know, but that's just the way we think sometimes. And finally, what I think the biggest culprit is, at North Carolina, Maye's production dipped from 38 touchdowns and 7 picks in his first season as a starter to 24 and 9 the next year. But that drop always required context. He lost both of his top receivers, Josh Downs and Antoine Green, to the NFL. Downs went to the Colts, Green to the Lions. Together, they accounted for more than 1,800 yards and 18 touchdowns. Then his new top wide receiver, transfer Tez Walker, was ruled ineligible for the first 4 games. That's a lot of firepower gone, and still, Maye held his own, even if it wasn't quite as numerically impressive as the year prior. But that's the catch with quarterback narratives. If you thrive with great college receivers, people are going to say they made you. If you play pretty well without them, people will still say they made you. You can't win that argument. Now, I brought this up, his dip in numbers, when I did my pre-draft profile video of Drake Maye in the spring of 2024. It's fair to reassess Maye as a prospect after a down year. I also said that I would not wish New England on Drake Maye even if he was my own worst enemy. That actually turned out to be true for his rookie season, and now it's looking like he's in a perfect situation. How quickly things can change. Before I move on from his time in college, I'd be remiss not to acknowledge the irony in the situation. New England fires Bill Belichick, drafts Drake Maye, and they're good again within the course of a year and a half. Bill Belichick leaves New England, pours kerosene on his legacy, and joins North Carolina, only to lead them to a 2-5 record after 7 games. Incredible, incredible. The only Lombardi left in Belichick's future will be Mike, sweating his toupee off in the desert as he tries to secure enough Saudi Arabian financing to finally get the Tar Heels good enough to make the Gasparilla Bowl.
Not talking about this.
No.
No.
Bill's observations were so bad, his own show on Redacted was canceled. But back to Maye, because not everyone is as correct and prophetic when it comes to the draft as I am. Which is why guys like Merrill Hodge feel comfortable saying dumb shit like, drafting Drake Maye will get you fired. That line applies to literally every quarterback who doesn't pan out. And spoiler alert, a lot of them do not.
I don't think I've yet to see him execute a pressure correctly. He is completely erratic when it comes to throwing the football. That's where people get fired. I wouldn't give him a first round grade.
Hodge was extremely wrong on the first point. Ironically, though, he wasn't wrong on his second specific criticism of Maye. And if I can poke any holes in his game, it's how he plays against pressure currently. Here comes another fucking graph.
Look at this graph.
Here it is. Maye has gotten better than average pass protection in year 2. You can probably thank Will Campbell for most of that, but he's still taking more sacks than the play up front would suggest he should. And maybe that's skewed by the 5-sack Myles Garrett game, but Maye has already taken 28 sacks through 8 games this season, which is the second most in the league behind Cam Ward. Perhaps that's a product of Maye looking to throw deep and let plays develop more than other quarterbacks, but it should be a point of concern for New England because, by God, you don't want your new franchise quarterback getting hit like that often. The Patriots certainly upgraded their offensive line, and Maye is taking sacks at a 2% higher rate than he did last season, with 5 traffic cones protecting him up front. I do believe this is something that gets better with experience for quarterbacks. And out of fairness, I also want to pour a little water on what New England is doing right now, okay? I know they beat the Bills on Sunday Night Football, which really ended up being Maye's coming out party on a national stage. The fact that Maye had his coming out party and then Justin Fields quite literally came out of the closet just weeks apart shows you how far the NFL has come. But the Pats schedule has been incredibly forgiving thus far and will continue that way. I think that's what Cam Newton was trying to say.
Diarrhea at the mouth!
But since it's Cam Newton, he can't get to the fucking point, so I'm gonna say it more concisely.
Who the fuck is Perna?
You can't knock the Patriots, though, for beating the teams in front of them. But after getting games against Vegas, Miami, Tennessee, New Orleans, and Cleveland in the first half of the schedule, they still have 2 games against the Jets, 1 more against the Dolphins, the Giants, and the Bengals. They had the 3rd easiest schedule on paper heading into the season, and that was before we knew the Bengals would be missing Joey Burrow. So they actually have played the easiest schedule so far and have the 2nd easiest schedule remaining. Again, they've got a point differential of plus 67 after 8 games, but they need to take advantage of this cakewalk schedule and win the AFC East at this point. Of course, it's not just about 2025 though, is it? New England is in that coveted sweet spot that all teams dream of, pray for in the post-2011 collective bargaining agreement in the NFL. They have identified their franchise QB early enough into his rookie deal to capitalize on that cap space they're saving. In fact, it's more accurate to describe Maye as a leading MVP candidate more so than a young franchise quarterback. So what do they do now? Fortunately for them, I think it's a pretty simple equation. Just keep getting better on offense. Hopefully this regime is better at drafting receivers than the last one. A curse I think they may have actually passed over to the Buffalo Bills. They have the 10th most cap space heading into 2026. And guess what? Trey Hendrickson is going to become a free agent. And that feels like a slam dunk, splash signing for a Patriots team who has that as a position of need. I'm not totally sure if Mike Vrabel has forgotten about Travion Henderson. Travion had 7.5 yards per carry against the Browns, so just use him more frequently, Mike. I think their best bet is to wait until this upcoming offseason to get a burner at wideout for Maye, or perhaps a tight end who's still in his 20s. Everyone knows you want a tight end who's either young or in their 40s, like the Broncos know. New England has 10 picks in the first 6 rounds of the draft this next year. This is a good team that's an offseason away from becoming great and potentially leapfrogging the Bills. If that's not already what they're doing, Trust me, Bills Mafia, I do not enjoy saying that. I don't. To wind this to a close, I know what you're all thinking. What God would allow this to happen to New England again? Were they not blessed enough for one lifetime? Dave Portnoy managed to be incredibly annoying with the bad Patriots team. What the fuck's gonna happen to all of us when they're good? They're great. Was this fan base not blessed enough for one lifetime? Does a just God see the pain he is inflicting by allowing a Kansas City resurgence to happen simultaneously with the resurrection of the 2000 Patriots? What deal did Robert Kraft make? And I'm not talking about the deal he made to get out of that rub and tug sting down in Florida, but it was probably the same one Andy Reid made to keep Rashee Rice out of prison for an extended time.
Explain it again with those nuggies.
At least we can say this. These Patriots are likable. Mike Vrabel is a man who yearns so much for a Lombardi that he once threatened to cut off his own penis for a Super Bowl as a head coach.
Would you cut your dick off for a Super Bowl?
Oh, been married 20 years. Yeah, probably.
You've got 3.
Drake May has already inspired lovers all across the internet. How does Drake May stay humble with all that praise? His brothers will ensure we can love Drake May forever.
Pretty boy. Overrated.
Congratulations, Patriots fans. The rest of football America actually likes this overrated pretty boy bitch. Quite the opposite of your last overrated pretty boy bitch. Personally, I can root for Drake May because he's not Tom Brady. Shit, he's probably even better. Thanks for watching That's Good Sports. Please subscribe here on YouTube. You gotta subscribe, or YouTube's coming for my wiener like Mike Vrabel. May the Drake be with you. Ha ha!
I jerk off at least twice a day.
He was looking for booty.